Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. There's a lot to cover in this video, but I want to tell with you right at the outset, and I'll share with it just a few minutes, a little bit later on the video, the coolest reason, in the coolest way, to escrow XRP. Seriously, sit tight for this. I just think it's a cool story. I think you'll appreciate it too when I get to it. But what I'm going to cover in this video at large, it's one of Hodor's most recent blogs. He titled Limitless, The Potential of XRP and the Internet of Value. Obviously, I think it's probably pretty agreeable to state that he is the most well-known of XRP bloggers, a great writer. He does a great job of summing up a lot of stuff that's going on within the realm of, well, cryptocurrency, Ripple, and XRP. I love sharing his content with you. I've also got a piece I'll share with you towards the end of the video from dailyhodl.com, and it is titled Bitcoin Futures Trading on CME Group, surging up 132% from last year. Now, before we get going, if you would please delicately tap that like button, but do not smash it, because if you break it, hey man, the repair bill's all on you. I know it's tough love, but that's the policy on the Moon Lambo channel. And also, I would like to say, if you're happy and you know it, please go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. It's a pretty good idea. That's it. That's my pitch. Let's hop into the content now. Economic cycles happen. We've seen how they seem to exhibit a boom-bust pattern that repeats over time. And these cycles will inevitably affect specific markets in various ways, impacting both sides of the supply and demand equation. But something is different in 2019. That difference is the technology involved. A wide variety of fintech companies and innovations have now promised to change the way that value flows across the surface of the earth, and may successfully alter variables used in macroeconomic calculations. Embarrassingly, most crypto exchanges remind their customers that if they want to make a bank transfer, it might take days. Yes, Ripple is being adopted, but we still see these reminders of the status quo. Previously, whenever people wanted to move any amount of money across borders, a small number of money center banks immediately stepped into the picture. Those money center banks would have legislators and the public believe that they are the only ones that can enforce AML and KYC rules. They claim that governments and customers should trust them to perform this role. But what if technology could, and it can, offer a blockchain-based solution to these problems? One that involves a technology based on APIs rather than pushing paper. Make no mistake, these processes will be transformed. This is far too much of the world's economic future riding on fintech's ability to streamline these processes in a way that supports real-time settlement. And this democratizing of personal information in finance will level the playing field in a way that will force these old money center banks to either change or get out of the way. And I want to mention, by the way, when I entered the world of cryptocurrency back in the olden times, November of 2017, it was actually hard to purchase XRP comparatively to today's standards. And I know, less than 2 years. But at least in the United States, where I am, in the good old Midwest, it was impossible to purchase XRP directly with a bank account. Like you just couldn't do it. You had to buy the easiest way that I found was to just get a Coinbase account. It was a pretty user friendly platform, and then move that to Binance, and then buy your XRP. We didn't have Uphold. That's my platform of choice, by the way. I prefer to buy my XRP regularly on Uphold because it was super easy, and I was able to just attach my checking account, this or that. But it was so funny to me back when I first jumped into cryptocurrency. There were limits, even for me trying to get my money into Coinbase. They would limit how much money from my own checking account I could put into Coinbase. And oh my God, it was frustrating. And I was like, and then it would take days, like they said. And so I wanted to buy, and I couldn't get money on fast enough, even though I had a completely valid account. And they did all of the checking that they wanted to do to make sure it was legit, all that good, fun stuff. And I was just sitting there thinking, because it was, at this point I had figured out, oh my God, there's something about this whole Ripple/XRP thing. My God, we can speed up payments moving this. And while that admittedly, of course, was about the movement of cross-border payments, Ripple is looking to achieve what they call the Internet of Value. And I was, which means, of course, moving value around the world, money, as easily as it is to send a text message today, to send an email, whatever it may be. And so as I was sitting there in my frustration, I was like, it's so funny that I wanted to put my money into XRP for, because I believe in the use case for it. I believed at the time, I still do, of course. And I believed how transformative it could be. But I was sitting there and not able to get my money into it. And I was just like, this is the problem that Ripple is trying to solve. Oh my God. Take my money so that I can get my XRP so that Ripple can solve this problem. Like that's kind of more or less like the thought process going through my head and my frustration at the time. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that has felt that as you've tried to get money into into any exchange, whatever exchange of choices. And to me, it was just, I was like, oh, how perfect. I was like, this is rich. Take my money, damn it. But they would. Anyway, Hodor continues here. The world has needed immediate settlement for many years now. And innovations like XRP stand waiting in the wings to be used for real-time commerce. For central bankers, the use of XRP is a win-win situation. It's a bridge asset, so it doesn't aspire to remove the use of fiat currency on either leg of its journey across borders. XRP simply transforms the fiat dynamically and in real time, transitioning one currency into another. But to do this, blockchain technology stakeholders need clarity on the status of digital assets, as well as a crystal clear, legally enforceable taxonomy. Each day that Ripple spends illegal wranglings is one more day that delays the Internet of Value and its potential. The Internet of Value's enemies lurk in the shadows. They are the old guard, hidden in the dark corners of money-centered banks' dusty back offices. They snicker and drone on about compliance services that they can now be effectively outsourced to blockchain. But the tables have turned. Now in 2019, we've seen congressional sessions devoted to digital assets and their status in both national and global economies. Over 20 years after the technological rise of the internet, the public is starting to wonder why they can't move money as fast as sending a text message. The tools to make it happen now exist. The Internet of Value stands ready to not only rescue the world's economy, but to transform it into something completely different and more connected than ever before. All that awaits is the public's will to unleash it. Oh my God, brilliant writing. I absolutely love it. Man. Hodor, well done, sir. I love highlighting your stuff on the channel here. And let me scroll down. A lot of this stuff, because I'm pretty thorough, Hodor is pretty thorough. We kind of cover a lot of the same stuff, so some of this I am going to go ahead and skip over. This tweet from David Schwartz, Ripple CTO and XRP Ledger co-creator, I did not see this, and I thought it was worth citing here. It's subtitled, David Schwartz recognizes XRP forensics. When some of the higher profile hacks occurred that targeted popular XRP wallets and exchanges, a small volunteer group of individuals in the XRP community stepped up to help track the money. XRP forensics. And while they are not part of a law enforcement themselves, they've shared their information with exchanges and investigators on occasion. One of the most high-profile members of the group is Thomas Silkjaer, and one day somebody's going to tell me how to enunciate that because I'm pretty confident I'm doing it wrong, but I don't know, maybe I'm right, off chance, right? Anyway, so he's a data analyst and blockchain researcher. He's been profiled on numerous occasions by mainstream news media and has successfully tracked millions of XRP after thefts and hacks. It was refreshing to see David Schwartz, Ripple's chief technology officer, acknowledge the small group's contributions and role in the community on August 27th. Now check this out. I thought this was cool too. So here's an official tweet from David Schwartz. Props to @XRP Forensics for their diligence in keeping the community aware of scams. It's disappointing how many bad actors are taking advantage of people and, even more, that platforms aren't doing more to protect their users. Since I was aware, and this is now Hodor again, since I was aware of some of the group's members, I've been following their official Twitter account since it began. If you haven't given them a follow yet, I strongly suggest you do. The group has helped investigate thefts and hacks numerous times and deserves our support, both from a financial and morale standpoint. And I am going to make sure that I link this entire blog below, so if you want to do that, or if you want to read parts of this that I'm kind of skipping over here, please feel free to do so. And let me scroll down just a little bit right here. Oh, yeah, this piece about Coil. I thought this was cool. So, Coil news. Have you been thinking about blogging on Coil? It's a fantastic idea. The platform is catered to the writing process and makes generation of articles a fun and fast process. Of course, the big differentiation for the Coil blogging platform when compared to others is the fact that you can get paid on Coil. Unlike running your own private site, the monetization is already set up. All you have to do is create your account and begin writing. For those of you that want to take their Coil game to the next level, Riley Q, a popular Coil contributor and music artist, has penned a blog that goes over some of what's worked for her during her own early adoption of the platform. And by the way, since I'm so active on Twitter, at least, I mean, I guess admittedly I tweet less than I used to, mostly because I'm more active in putting out content on YouTube. I'm still constantly going through my Twitter feed, and Riley Q pops up all the time. So given that she's an early adopter and finding success with this so far, I hope she gets all the publicity in the world, seriously. So more props to her. So here's a tweet from her. I'm giving you all of my secrets because I want to see you succeed on Coil too. And she's got the little kissy face emoji. New to Coil? 10 keys to success. So there it is right there. Go ahead and check it out. Let me go and scroll down a little. This is what I teased this at the beginning of the video. I think this is awesome. All right, let me go ahead. You know what? Let me get to. I'll just hop right into it. Here's the part that I wanted to cover. Wietse Wind special announcement. And by the way, this guy, he is the creator of the XRP tip bot. He owns, but he's a creator of XRPL Labs, which is funded through Ripple Spring Initiative. Super sharp guy. Comes out as very friendly to me. Like, to me, just seems like a very personable, likable guy, but also really contributing to the XRP community. And so here we have the subheading here. Wietse Wind special announcement. The same day that Wietse Wind nonchalantly posted about updates he'd made to the XRP Ledger Exposed, he also informed the XRP community that he and his wife were now expecting their second child. So hey, congratulations, Wietse! That's awesome stuff here. And here's an official tweet from it. Reads, and this is from August 26th. Back from our lovely summer holiday with amazing news. Arwen is going to be a big sister. Cool stuff here. Now, check out. This is where it gets XRP specific here. The tweet contained a picture of an XRP Ledger transaction, along with a link to BitHump, where readers could view it for themselves. And here you can see it on the screen. Now, if you are driving, you keep your hands on the wheel at 10 and 2. Motorist, don't you be irresponsible and become crashed into, an animal like a fish or perhaps another motor vehicle. You don't want to do that. So here you can see the escrow creation date, 8/26/2019, escrow owner, Wietse Wind, and execute after, and this is the thing because this is going to be unlocked on the 13th birthday. I mean, this is the estimated due date, right? But the 13th birthday of their yet-to-be-born child. And so they're at due date February 27th, 2020, present for your 13th birthday, and then the ultrasound, and there's a link there to it, which is just the coolest freaking thing. So it's in the memo line on the XP Ledger forever. Cool stuff here. They put in 1,000 XRP on this. And this escrow transaction is to be completed on February 27th, 2033. So let me ask you, this is the coolest thing, right? Does this not make you smile? All things cool here. What do you think XRP is going to be worth by then? I am so curious to come back, 13 years later and see what it's actually looking like, because that could be like the biggest, fattest gift a 13-year-old has ever freaking received. Not financial advice, but I think that's awesome here. So anyway, and here's how Hodor continued to write about it. It's pretty much what I said, but he wrote, it was an escrow transaction for his new daughter, and the amount of 1,000 XRP in the transaction contained a surprise for those that viewed it on BitHump, a URL that navigated to an ultrasound of the new child. Congratulations to Wietse Wind and family on their new and future second daughter. Awesome stuff here. All right, next here. I like this tweet. This is from XRP Euphoria on Twitter. It reads, there's a reason that we believe XRP's success is just over the horizon. We're watching XRP from a higher intellectual altitude. We see miles beyond those who see only the immediate landscape. But the gift of sight bears a curse. The horizon may be further away than we realize. True enough words. To me, that rings true because although highly confident in XRP, I am, after all, Mr. XRP Bull. In terms of price action, when it's going to achieve anything meaningful, I don't know. I'm confident that it will, and it's not financial advice, but I am confident eventually it will because I see utility taking hold, and as long as that continues to pan out in such a way, I think we're really onto something here. I really do. And so intellectually looking into this and being intellectually honest, which is easy for me because I'm not a maximalist of any kind, there is no ideology behind this, just looking at it from that perspective, I realize it could maybe be a long time until the world gets it, but who knows? Who knows? I just wanted to share this with you because the concept of the tweet, it rang true to me. And I suspect that for many of you who just heard me read that, you're like, yeah, I get it. Maybe it will be a while. Maybe it won't, though. I mean, it depends on what you think your exit point will be. Like, what's the off-ramp look like for you? So maybe it'll be sooner, maybe it'll be later. But regardless, I thought it was a cool tweet and wanted to share it. All right, here's a piece from Daily Hodl. Bitcoin futures trading on CME Group surging up 132% from last year. Bitcoin futures trading volume on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, CME, Group's platform, is posting record numbers this year. Current Bitcoin futures trading activity is at the highest since August 2018. Bitcoin has surged dramatically since the beginning of the year, from around $3,150 in December 2018 to a yearly high of nearly $14,000. Bitcoin is currently trading at $9,600 at the time of writing. The uptick in interest among crypto traders is due to more favorable market conditions after a prolonged bear market throughout 2018. CME Group Managing Director and Global Head of Equity Products and Alternative Investments, Tim McCourt, tells Forbes, quote, "Year-to-date, Bitcoin futures are averaging 7,237 contracts per day, which is a 132% increase from the same period last year." Look, I'm telling you, I know this is Bitcoin. I get it. But you're going to see activity like this with other cryptocurrencies, I believe specifically XRP, because XRP has staying power from my perspective. I think it's going to be here for the long haul. I think it will be one of the winners long term. If you fast forward 5, 10, 15, 20 years out, based on all knowledge available today, it's reasonable from my perspective to believe XRP will have staying power. Make your own opinions. Don't buy or sell because of me, but that's what I firmly believe. And then the piece continues here. The CME and the Chicago Board Options Exchange, CBOE, introduced USD-settled Bitcoin futures trading contracts in December 2017. At the time, Bitcoin futures were considered one of the first major steps toward bringing Bitcoin-based trading options to mainstream traders and investors. In May 2019, CME's platform traded an average of over 13,600 daily Bitcoin contracts, which is around 515 million in notional value, or about 68,000 Bitcoins, McCourt confirms. And here's a quote. On May 13, Bitcoin traded a record single-day volume of 33,677 contracts. And then parentheses, 168K equivalent Bitcoin, or 1.3 billion notional. Indeed. And I think that this matters because, especially as there are future contracts with other cryptocurrencies, specifically XRP's on my mind, you know, if they're physically settled, that means XRP has to come out of it has to be held by somebody, which means it's coming out of other parts of the ecosystem. It can't just be on sale for, like, somebody's actually holding that. And you know that affects supply and demand. And I think that that's just one of the many uses for cryptocurrency. And admittedly, that's a speculative one, but it's a use case nonetheless. And people will be willing to speculate, I believe, as long as this particular cryptocurrency, XRP, is genuinely being used and being adopted. That's just my opinion here. You can tell me what you think. You think I'm right? You think I'm wrong? You got a different thought on anything discussed here today? Or, I don't know, maybe you want to tell me what you ate for breakfast? Go ahead and drop it below. Last time I asked that, or mentioned that, maybe you want to tell me what you ate for breakfast, somebody responded, banana. So what'd you have? All right, that's it. I'm done being weird. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!